I'm Darlene Duncan from Ormond Beach, Florida. A New Beginning in Coventry Beach is the first book in the Larissa Carpenter mystery series. The genre is cozy mystery. Sitting at her desk, Detective Angela Murdoch began searching the internet for anything she could find on Laurel Carpenito. She started her search with the county property appraiser's site to learn who owned the house Laurel Carpenito was calling home. The records showed that Larissa Carpenter and Rachel Simmons were the owners, and they paid cash. Remembering the connection Terry Snokes had mentioned between the victim and the previous owner of the house, Murdoch opened another search window. She found that Martha Wilcox had died of natural causes a few weeks before the two women bought the place. A quick search on Larissa Carpenter and Rachel Simmons took her to several news articles about the couple winning the biggest lottery jackpot in the state's history. Shortly after that win, Rachel Simmons died. At first, she found it interesting that Larissa Carpenter had been a suspect in Rachel Simmons' death. Further reading showed that those pursuing that theory were basically family members of the deceased. Several articles were about how the family felt that Larissa Carpenter had tricked Rachel into marrying her, and now she was not only the sole beneficiary on the life insurance policy, but she also inherited Rachel's share of the lottery jackpot. An autopsy determined that Rachel Simmons had died of natural causes, a brain aneurysm. Before Murdoch could start a search for images of Laurel Carpenito, Larissa Carpenter, and Rachel Simmons, her desk phone rang. The light indicated it was an interdepartmental call. Having requested confirmation of the deceased's identity through fingerprints, she hoped this was her answer. She picked up the receiver. Murdoch. Yeah, I don't know who told you that your beach body was Carly Reddington, but they lied. All right, we know who she isn't. Do we know who she is? We got a hit on a Natalie Kramer. She's a local kid. Great. What about the phone I gave you? We're working on it. Fortunately, I don't think it was out there very long. Of course, it would be easier if you hadn't stepped on it. Yeah, but if I hadn't stepped on it, it would still be out there under the sand. By the way, why did we have Natalie Kramer's prints on file? What, you want me to do all the work? She could hear the smile in Paul's voice, and then the call ended. A quick records search showed that Natalie Kramer had been arrested for protesting without a permit when she was 19. Murdoch pulled up the case file. Natalie Kramer wasn't the only one arrested that day. Carly Reddington had been charged with the same thing. Reading through the list of names charged that day, she smiled as she came across several local residents' names, including Terry Snokes from the Turtle Patrol. Sitting at her desk doodling and thinking, she tried to fit the pieces of the puzzle together. After a few moments, she dropped the pen and picked up the Rubik's Cube. Staring across the room with unseeing eyes, she began to go through all the facts, possible lies, and conjecture of the case while randomly turning the pieces of the cube. There's no obvious reason for Carpenito to lie about her meeting with Natalie Kramer. So why would Natalie Kramer say her name was Carly Reddington? Though I suppose if she'd been caught poking around in the wee hours, it made more sense if she were the former owner's niece. Still, none of that makes any sense at all. Somehow, some way, the Turtle Nest, Natalie Kramer, and Carly Reddington are all tied together. I just have to figure out the common thread and where Laurel Carpenito fits into the picture.